Your morning routine is ruining you. Now, don't get me wrong, I do a morning routine, but there's some things that have been kind of on my mind lately. Does it get you into a flow? Yes. Does it make you dependent? Also, yes.
Okay, so first, what is a morning routine? I think these come in all different flavors. There's the I have to wake up, have a cup of coffee, have my breakfast, read my newspaper, go out, kill the day. I think that's like the morning routine that my dad had, and he totally had a flow for it. Like on the dot, you knew exactly what he was doing, where he was doing it. Then you have these other ones that are a little bit more complex. And that could be everything from like you wake up at 5, you're journaling, meditating, reading, working out, affirmations, and realistically it could take sometimes upwards of like 2 hours to getting through it each day, which for some people that's a huge commitment. Now, the journey for me really started a couple of years ago. I was quitting the startup I was at the time. I was going to do some freelance consulting, just kind of doing my own thing, and I stumbled upon a book after hearing a podcast called Miracle Morning or Morning Miracle, one of the two, and read it. Totally drank the Kool-Aid, and I was up at 5 o'clock doing the whole 2 hour routine. I think at the time maybe it took like an hour, but it was definitely a wake up, meditate, journal, read, daily affirmations, all of these things. That was like, okay, this is my like hour and a half of like time to really sink in and get in the zone for the day. And I loved it. It was super addicting. There was this like just the level of intentionality that came with it was something that helped me really just find focus in what I was working on and avoid all those mindless hours of just scrolling through social media or any of those kind of things. And then I started to post about it on Facebook, and it seemed to actually resonate with a couple of my friends, and they commented on it. They read the book. They started doing the routine. We even had at one point an accountability like group chat. So like when people would wake up, at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, they would just send an emoji that like really summarized how they felt upon waking up. And it was really interesting to see, what emojis were being sent. Sometimes people were a little bit groggy, but they still got up and they still accomplished it. And other times they're, fireworks just coming off. Like they're up, they're ready to go, and they're just gonna hit the ground running. Now, when I think of these morning routines, I think of them a lot like coffee. Now, coffee is this one thing that like so many people have as part of their morning routine. They need that spike of caffeine, but is it a good thing, right? Like, I think we all have someone in our network where if they don't have that coffee, the rest of the day is going to be thrown off. And so, in a way, like, coffee provides this like upside of like getting you in the zone, getting you ready, but it also kind of created this dependency. And that was the same kind of concept that happened with my morning routine. I would wake up, I was in the flow, but the days that I didn't do it, I sometimes felt like I just didn't want to do anything. And that's where I think morning miracles or morning routines just could actually be doing more harm than good. In no way is this like super, super bad for your health. Coffee, you could drink it all your life. You'll be totally fine. It's just a way of doing something. Can you quit it? Sure. Do people want to quit it? Maybe. There was this podcast that I was listening to by Alex Hermozi. For those who are not aware, Alex is this individual that's created a couple of companies. Now he's created a ton of videos around marketing businesses, starting businesses, managing businesses. And he had talked about morning routines.
Crutches are dangerous. What I mean by that, these routines that we set. And the thing is if we become dependent on the routine, we actually become weaker as a result of it.
I think where he was coming from is there's kind of this like, if you do it, you build a dependency, which can be bad. Totally get that. But I think for some other people, they kind of need that structure. Like myself, I'm the type of individual that if I could wake up, I already have my to-do list ready, outlined, thought through. I'm just going to wake up and I'm just going to execute. Just that small step where I don't have to think about what I feel like doing in the next minute or things like that. And I could just look on my calendar and be like, go do this, go do that. that is something that just gets me going because I do all of that kind of deep decision making stuff actually super, super late into the night. And so I was thinking, well, what are some of the other ups and downs that came with morning routines? If I did the routine, I felt great. If I didn't do the routine, I didn't feel great. If I only did a portion of the routine, sometimes it was a little bit up in the air. And here's why. If there's like, let's say 4 parts of your morning routine and you only got to do 2 of them, in a way, you kind of penalize yourself sometimes about like, I wanted to get this done. I wasn't able to get it done. And when, you're waking up at 5 or 6 in the morning, taking an L in the morning like that is probably not the best psychologically. And recently I was listening to Alex Huberman, runs a podcast, and he was talking about these like morning routines.
Set 3 or 4 habits that you want to create for yourself. So find 6 habits and decide every day you're going to do 4, but never compensate day to day. There's reasons for doing this. Let's say one day.
And I think he does have a point when it comes to giving yourself the permission to not have to complete it 100%. And I've started to incorporate this in the past month where I have basically my entire routine. I wake up, I meditate, journal, read, out, all of these different things. Being that I'm really actually going for like 60 or 80% per day, it provided me the flexibility with not feeling pressured like I have to go do something, and more so of like, what would I like to do this morning? When I hit that marker of like 60%, I feel great. If I hit it at 80%, I feel even better. If I hit it at 100%, I'm like, holy smokes, today was a day that hit it out of the park. And nonetheless, like, the fact that I was able to do any of those parts to it still creates that like flow that I'm looking for in the morning that has really, really helped me out, because there'll be some days that I'm like, I don't feel like reading today. I'm not going to read. But maybe the next day I feel like reading double the amount. Well, you know what? I'm going to make it up anyways. And in the grand scheme of months, the entire year, still better than doing nothing. Super curious to hear what you think about morning routines. Do you have a morning routine? What is it? Does it work for you? Do you think it's kind of like coffee, where if you have it, it gives you that jump start? If you don't have it, sometimes you could be a little groggy. For those that have been keeping up with the videos, today is day 2 of the 12-day challenge. What that is basically a challenge that I put together for myself to start this YouTube channel. It's pretty simple. Make a video every day for the next 12 days. Film, edit, publish, just get the ball rolling and seeing where it goes from there. So if you made it to this part, thanks for listening. Love to see your comments below, and see you in the next one.